Hi, I'm Ashlea Bullington, and this is the Warmup. Big week for high school football playoffs in the great state of Texas. We've reached the regional finals, which means 3 more wins gets you that state championship. The Metroplex has plenty of teams still alive in the postseason. So let's take a look at some of the big matchups. The much anticipated battle between Duncanville and South Lake Carroll takes place at the Star Saturday. The place should be packed as the Panthers bring their stable of unbelievable athletes to face off against the Dragons' huge offensive line and running game. Neither team had trouble with their opponents last week and should be ready for quite a showdown Saturday afternoon. The Panthers have only allowed 116 yards per game, so it should be interesting to see if Carroll's running game can find some holes in that vaunted Duncanville defense. This game could come down to which passing game is more effective. Allen heads back to Waco this Saturday to face off with Waco Midway at Baylor's McLean Stadium. Last week's trip to Waco was successful as the Eagles beat the Woodlands by a touchdown. However, has the Allen defense been exposed? Rockwall scored 40 points on them in week 2 of the playoffs, and last week the Highlanders could not be put away as they hung in the game for all 4 quarters. If Allen can still hit their average of close to 500 yards of offense per game, they should advance to the state semifinals. One of the most intriguing matchups this week is Aledo versus Frisco Reedy. The 2 undefeated squads meet at Pennington Fields on Friday night, and the elements could play a factor. They're calling for a cold, wet night, which could favor whatever running game gets traction. Reedy quarterback Josh Foster has been locked in all season. He's thrown for 23 touchdowns and ran for 7 more. However, the X factor in this game may be Aledo's super sophomore, JoJo Earl. He's been all over the field this year and making big plays on the offensive side of the ball. We expect this one to go down to the final buzzer. And finally, how about those Halton Buffaloes? Still undefeated at 13-0, and they're heading to Texas Tech to face Amarillo Tascosa. Michael Black has been incredible all season long, as he may be the best dual-threat quarterback in North Texas. He's aided by wideout Julian Johnson, who has almost 1,000 yards receiving and 10 touchdowns. Tascosa will be a tough matchup, but never count out that Halton magic. Another team with a huge game this weekend is the Birdville Hawks. They take on Denton Ryan for a second time Saturday night at the Star. The Hawks are led by quarterback Stone Earl and running back Ladarius Mixon. In this week's Inside Story on Wingstop Inside High School Sports, we find out how these 2 best friends became actual brothers. You won't want to miss that. Also on the show, we'll be giving out our Catch of the Year bobblehead. So many good ones to choose from, so this will be good. All right, let's take a look at this week's basketball rankings. Big shakeup in the rankings as our number 5 team shot up to number 1. That would be Mansfield Timberview. They upset our previous number 1 team, Denton Geyer, 87-85, thanks to 27 points out of CJ Smith. The Wolves are still undefeated. Geyer drops to 2, but we don't expect them to stay out of the number 1 spot too long. South Garland lost to Richardson Pierce this week, so they are number 3. Rockwall stays at 4 with a couple of big wins against out-of-area foes Austin Westlake and Fort Bend Dulles. And jumping back into the rankings is the Allen Eagles at 5. They continued their balanced scoring attack to move to 11-1. In the girls' side of things, Mansfield Timberview remains in the top spot. They're now 14-1 on the season. New number 2 is Plano as they coasted to 2 easy wins last week. Moving to 3 is Plano's fellow 9-6A member Allen. The Lady Eagles pulled off a couple of nice out-of-area wins to move up from 5. Duncanville drops to 4, a rare spot for the Pantherettes. They took another early season loss to South Grand Prairie and are 13-3. And entering the rankings is the Saxe Lady Mustangs. Last year's state finalist is cruising along at 12-2, which lands them at 5. Regional finals are here this weekend. To keep up with all things inside high school sports, you can follow our social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, to help get you pumped up and ready to go for the best 30 minutes of the TV weekend. Wingstop Inside High School Sports, hosted by Pat Doney on Channel 5, this Saturday at 6:30 p.m. 3 more wins before we crown the best of the state. Now that you're warmed up and ready to go, it's time to put on your school colors, grab your flags, and go cheer on your boys. I'm Ashlea Bullington, and thank you for watching The Warm Up. Woo!